What drew me most to Proven Men, I was searching on handshake.com, a kind of like a LinkedIn job finder. And though it was a requirement to find an internship, I found Proven Men, and I actually had like I saw that they were based right in Lynchburg. And I was like, okay, before I just go and apply, I want to like look up who they are and whatnot. So I went online, looked up their website, and I saw that they were like a sexual integrity ministry. And I immediately felt drawn to it because for me personally, I've always been struggling with sexual integrity. And so to work directly for a company that would not only push me in my internship and like professionally, but like push me towards my spiritual growth and spiritual relationship with God and my sexual integrity like walk, I knew that it was going to be something I had to get into and something that the Lord would definitely open up. And then it was even confirmed when I had missed a meeting phone call with Nick like 3 or 4 times, and I kept apologizing. And he was just like, dude, you're totally fine, this and that, whatever. Like, come in, first week of school, and let's get a coffee, let's do a little interview, and we'll see if you're right for it. And we did, and he gave me the job, and that's how I knew that God was just like, Dan, I need you right with Proven Men right now, for you specifically. My day-to-day when I worked here didn't feel like work. It felt more like helping others. It felt more like posting on social media and creating graphics that I knew would impact lives around me and around the world. It felt very much like ministry work that didn't feel like work at all. The atmosphere amongst the entire team was just lighthearted, like get your work done, but also like we know who we are in Christ, and Christ is going to steer the ship, and let's have a great time because we are like all working for him. And I would have to say that when it came down to doing like some felt like meaningless tasks, it was just like I knew that the greater purpose was so much bigger, so much greater than what I could imagine. And then when I worked for the This Is War conference, it was awesome to see some of the guys there and their lives changed through the conference, and just some of the stories that we heard were just so powerful. So it didn't feel like work, it felt like serious ministry. I think God worked in numerous ways. In most ways, it was my professional level. It was, what does it actually look like to have a deadline for a business and not a deadline for a class, not classwork, not homework, not a project, not something you're graded on, but something you see the effect of. So like in school, you do a project, you get an A, there's your grade. In a business, you do a project, you post it, you have to see like the engagements and how well it does traction online, and that's like your grade. And for me, it's never an A, because you can always get better traction, you can always get better engagement. So it was really cool to like change that mentality and change that mindset professionally. But then personally and spiritually, me growing as a person through God, or in God, and in this ministry was just, I used to be so hush-hush when it came to my walk in my faith, and that was mainly in my sexual integrity area. In my house, it was not talked about. In my church, it was, you struggle with porn, cool, end of story. Like, that was it. Like, we didn't talk about it, we didn't necessarily dive into it, we didn't want to dig up those deep, ugly roots. And coming here and working for Proven Men, it made me realize that everybody struggles, but it helps others when you're talking about it and when you're bringing it to the forefront of the conversation. It makes it easier when you don't single people out and you're the first person to step up and say, I'm the one who struggles with sexual integrity. And so then when I was able to even speak on some of the campus halls, Liberty University's campus halls, and talk to those guys and tell them some of my story, it really felt like a lot of the guys resonated with me. A couple of the guys approached me afterwards and were like, hey, I've been thinking about counseling for sexual integrity. Like, what do you suggest? And like, first off, I was like, well, like, if you want specific counseling, like TRBC or Liberty University or, you know, any private firm. But then, like, if you're seeking sexual integrity, like, Proven Men is going to be what's the move for you. Like, Proven Men is going to be your next best step. And so in that, just being so much more comfortable about my story and being so much more, like, ready to tell and ready to share the gospel through my story would have to be the biggest thing that grew me here at Proven Men. I'd honestly have to say that this was, out of all the internships I've done about 4 other professional internships with other different companies, and this is the best internship by far. Number one, people, and who they are. They care immensely about us. Number 2, like, the communication is above and, like, through the roof here. And number 3, just how God is moving. And I'm so thankful to Proven Men, thankful to Nick, to Marshall, to Greg, to all those guys who just have grown me in the past 3 months, 4 months. Just super thankful for them and what they've done.